Holmes also speaks of the fluent quality as something we as practitioners of the science of the mind must remember. A practitioner of this science should not be confused over any given form, but should know that any form which is not of the original harmony is subject to change. Let us affirm together. I swim in the flow of consciousness, sowing good wherever I go. I also would like to introduce Eugene Holden. Distinct pleasure of doing that. And have a blessed day.
Thank you. Grand rising, everyone. Which is the theme of the year. And the theme of the month is sticking the landing. Oh. The interesting thing is that I prepared that part because I thought the theme was Hearts Ablaze. So I'm going to stick with that. So, Hearts Ablaze, right? So then it starts like this. Grand rising, everybody. Yeah. And the theme is sticking the landing. There's something with the sound that I'm not quite. Anyway, so it's sticking the landing. We're going to stick the landing on this sound too. And so going with the flow, or the ground and the flow of the ground. But it's really about having your hearts ablaze. I want to stick with that because that's what fired me up. And isn't it a wonderful time of year? No, isn't it a wonderful time to have our hearts ablaze? So what does that really mean? So Dr. Holmes talks about let each man, and we all know that he means mankind, I'm going to use it this way then, let each person have a spiritual outlook and uplift, and perhaps finally, the day will come when our stupidity will dim as the effulgent rays of that penetrating and mystic divine fire enter our consciousness. Let each person have a spiritual outlook and uplift and uplift. And then perhaps finally the day will come when our stupidity will dim as the effulgent rays of that penetrating and mystic divine fire enter our consciousness. Take a breath. Dr. Holmes goes on to saying somewhere else in the Science of Mind textbook, let us learn to see God. No, let us to see as God must, with perfect vision. Let me stop there. Let us learn to see as the divine sees. Did anyone stop and take a moment to witness the full moon last night? Oh my God. So let us stop, let us learn to look at life in a way where stuff like that just fires up our soul. Let us learn how to look the way that God sees, the way that the divine sees, with perfect vision. Now, what that also means is that person who might push that button or trigger you or whatever it is, to see them the way that Spirit sees them, the way that Spirit sees. Perfect vision, with perfect vision. So no matter what they may be doing or not doing, saying or not saying, let us look at them through the vision of Spirit. Or how about this? Looking through the vision of love. I love when I get into a situation and it has nothing to do with that person. They may have just reminded me of something that flipped a trigger or whatever, and I will stop and I'll take a breath. And I will ask myself the question, what would love do here? And that always brings me back to center. And I get to thank them for bringing that up and out, like, ooh, what the heck is this going on, Eugene? What are they doing? Oh, it's not about them. I have the three fingers pointing back at me. What's up with me? Oh, this is an opportunity for me to love. It's an opportunity for me to see whatever that is that has been triggered, to bring it up so that it can be healed, so that my heart can be ablaze. And I love the fire of love. Let us learn to see as God must with perfect vision. Let us seek the good and the true and believe in them with our whole heart, even though every person we meet is filled with suffering and limitation appears at all sides. Let me reread that. Let us seek the good and the true and believe in them, the true and the good, with our whole heart. Even though every person we meet is filled with suffering and limitation appears on all sides. In other words, let us see beyond the appearances, right? When we come from a heart ablaze, or when we go with the flow of the ground, I like to say, go with the flow of life, and with life, then we have the opportunity, because we always have this great gift of choice, to choose how we want to experience life. We get to choose how we experience what's going on. We get to choose the way that we think. I love, and you heard me talk about not being snagged by the weapons of distraction, the weapons of mass distraction, right? And it's social media, it's all of that. But I also just recently came to recognize that one of the biggest weapons of mass distraction in my life is the way that I think. Oh, that's not that funny, Reverend Kathleen. It's not that funny, y'all. Why are you still laughing? Yeah, right? They go, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The weapons of mass distraction. I am distracted sometimes by the thoughts that I have, not the thoughts that I keep. That's important. That's an important distinction. The thoughts that I have can distract me from being and having my heart ablaze. Man, did you hear what she said about him? Oh my God. And all that. Or what I love, my little brain goes, well, my big brain, anyway, goes, now, they're thinking about you. No, I don't know that. I have no idea. So I'm thinking about what they're thinking about me. Mass distraction. Mass distraction. And what am I being distracted from? I am being distracted from being the light of the divine. I am being distracted from being the joy of God that I have affirmed since 2002. I am the joy of God, dagnabbit, no matter what. And I said being distracted by the thoughts that we have, not the thoughts that we keep. The thoughts that we keep are important. So let me keep the thought of abundance. Let me keep the thought of love. Let me keep the thought of compassion. Let me keep the thought of joy. These are the thoughts I want to keep. Now, the thoughts that I have, well, it could be a little weird, right? So we want to let go of that. And as we continue to do that, even though, going back to homes, even though every person we meet is filled with suffering and limitation, which appears on all sides, we are now ready to step into a place. Excuse me, pardon me, talk amongst yourselves. There we go. And we're ready to step into a place where we are the example. I love the teachings of Yeshua Messiah, Yeshua ben Joseph, Yeshua ben Miriam, Jesus, son of Joseph, son of Mary, Jesus, the Christ. Love the teachings of Yeshua and how they have been brought out, because one of the things that I've been getting over the past few years is that he was not the exception, was the example. Do it in the way that I do it. And what did he do? He always went to spirit first. Now, you can call God God, you can call God Allah, or in the Aramaic, it's Allah. You can call it Christian. You can call it, how about this? Call it yourself. If we are created in the image and likeness of the divine, then why don't we call ourselves divine? Uh-oh. Now, coming into this Hearts Ablaze, I wanted to use Ernest Holmes' 4 principles of an effective prayer. Actually, 4 elements of an effective prayer. In class, we hear them as the 5 steps of treatment. Ernest Holmes called them the 4 elements of effective prayer. And I want us to get really excited about this, because affirmative prayer is not something that we just say on Sundays or with practitioners working with clients. Affirmative prayer is something that we live. And I want to break this down a little bit, right? So I have another 14 minutes to break down a life-changing experience, okay? Yeah, that is funny. Ernest Holmes. So the first, for all of those who are practitioners, are in class, or who already know this, the first element or the first step is what? Recognition. Recognizing what? Recognizing God, recognizing the divine, recognizing love, recognizing peace. Ernest Holmes goes on to say, recognition. This is where we know that there is one life, that life is God. And let me stop right there. Sometimes you will hear people in the teaching say, and they quote Holmes saying, there is only one life, that life is God's life. That life is perfect, that life is my life now. He didn't say that. He said, there is only one life, that life is God. Not that life is God's life. That's separation. He didn't say that. He said, there is only one life, that life is God. He goes on to say here, there is one creator, one creation, one law, one intelligence, one ultimate reality. It is good, whole, perfect, complete, harmonious. It is all of that when we recognize it. Remember, we have been given this great gift of choice. I get to choose to recognize it. Now, I can also choose not to recognize it. Oh, man, life sucks. You heard when I came up. You felt when I came up, grand rising. And then you felt the shift, right? Grand rising. Because I'm recognizing that there is a grand rising in my consciousness that allows me to recognize the divine in all that there is. In you and 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 you. And everything, the lights. Oh man, grand rising is a rising in consciousness where we get to recognize the source of that beautiful full moon. Oh my God. Holmes goes on to step 2. What's step 2? Unification. Yes, Dr. Holmes put it this way, identification. We identify ourselves with God. I am that which thou art that which I am. The Father and I are one. There needs to be a conscious, intelligent sensing and feeling of the divine presence within and as what we are. We are a creation of God, and we are expressing God. Catch that one, that we are expressing the divine. No matter what you're doing, you could be going, grand rising, and I'm still expressing God. But now, as I start to recognize the source of that beautiful full moon, as I start to recognize that there's a power that puts the green in the grass, and I start to recognize that there is something that has created the cells within my eyes that can see the vibration that says that it's green. You see how deep this can go? But it's so simple at the same time. Profoundly simple, deeply simple when we choose to recognize it. Ernest is so cool. Every bush would blaze if we unified. Every bush would blaze if we unified with that central spark, which is the cause of all evolution, all advancement, everything we know, and everything we shall ever attain. Every bush would blaze if we unified. I want to take out that word if and put in when. Every bush would blaze when we are unified with that central spark. Catch that, central spark. It can only be centered within ourselves. right? If it's central over there, well, then that's separation. I am, you are, we are the spark of the divine. Be ablaze so we can flow with this beautiful thing called life. Cool? Cool. Third step, folks. Okay, there's one. Realization. Right? So Dr. Holmes in the book is over there. It's the Essential Ernest Holmes. Great book, great class. The third step for Dr. Holmes, or the third element of an effective prayer, is declaration. I love this step. When I taught the class, I'm like, oh man, declaration. So step one is recognizing that there's a divine intelligence. Step two is identifying with that divine intelligence or unifying with it. Step three is realization. And I love how Dr. Holmes puts this, declaration. Coming from steps 1 and 2, God is all there is and I am one with God. Now I'm in a place to declare what it is that I want to realize. Now let me read what Dr. Holmes says. Declaration. There is a definite and specific action and movement of intelligence through thought, word, or idea for some definite person or purpose. Not supplication, wishing, hoping, or begging, but a concrete declaration of fact, a specializing of universal good in some way. In other words, speak what it is you want to experience. Declare that it is yours. In fact, you can even demand it. Because there is a universal intelligence that only answers you with what? Yes. That's why we say here, and yes, and so it is. Yes, it is. Now, I like to add my little spiritual punch to it. Dag nabbit. And so it is, dag nabbit. Because I declare it to be so. And here's the thing that I want to really get across is that there is something definite. You can call it whatever you want. Call it the law. Call it spiritual intelligence. But there is something that responds to the way that we think and the way that we feel. The feeling tone is so important. Because I can say all day that I'm abundant, that I am abundant, but if my feeling, my subconscious has this loop going, you're not abundant, you'll never be adopted. And if that's what I feel deep within, all my words are going to bring nothing. So I have to stop and go, okay, why am I not experiencing what I am saying? Oh, because back in the day when I was a kid, my parents fought about money, and I've attached myself to that story, or whatever the story is, right? How come I cannot seem to heal my body? Oh, because somewhere in the past, I witnessed and experienced a family member always being sick, and subconsciously I've attached to that story. Now, once we start to recognize that, oh, now the party's on, right? Because now we start to heal that way of thinking. And then we get to declare there is a definite and specific action and movement of intelligence through thought, through word or idea for some definite purpose or person. Not supplication, not wishing or hoping or begging. Oh, please, God, get that person out of my life. Oh, please, God, let me get this job. No. I recognize that there is a power for good. There is a power in the presence. There is a divine intelligence that responds to my word, and I am one with that power of the universe. So let me declare what it is I want to experience. Dag nabbit, I am not only getting this position, I am now in the position to run whatever it needs to be run. Hey, why not? Two of my favorite words, why not? This is me. We must relight the torch of our No, this is not me. Who is this? This is Neville. We must relight the torch. This should have been mine. We must relight, because I'm like, I don't ever use the word relight. We must relight the torch of our imagination by fire caught from heaven. Oh, no, this is still Holmes. We must remain faithful to this vision, for a realization of the presence of God is the secret power of our work. So when he says that we must relight the torch of our imagination by fire caught from heaven, we must, when I declare something, well, let me continue to declare it until it is made manifest. Relight it, relight it, relight it, relight it. Neville Goddard says, just declare yourself to be and continue to do so until you are lost in the feeling of just being, faceless, formless. Just declare yourself to be and continue to do so until you are lost in the feeling of just being. Being the thing that you are declaring. What does it feel like? You know, I have clients and have had clients in the past that would say, you know, once I get this, whatever it is, fill in the blank, once I get this, then I will feel abundant. Once I get this person, then I will feel loved. That backwards. Boom. Let me feel this now to draw that in. See, Spirit. We have heard over the years the law of attraction. Yes? So how about this? How about the law of reflection? What do I mean by that, Eugene? Well, let me tell you, Eugene. So we get how can I put this? What we put out there is reflected back to us. Right? So the law of attraction, which is a good place to start, howsoever, as some of the old folks would say, howsoever, the law of attraction is also a little bit of separation because I'm attracting something that's out there, right? The law of reflection says what I put out comes back to me. People think I love because I'm a loving person, and I am, but I love people because I'm selfish. Oh, yeah. I love people because I want that back. I want it back. So be selfish. So if you are wanting to experience greater abundance in your life, well, then give more. Declare that I give from a place of love. Declare that I give from a place of peace. And then declare that I am available to receive. We are in this time of year where we have heard, well, where I heard growing up, that it is better to give than to receive. And it's just as important to receive. It's just as important. And I can tell when a person has a hard time receiving simply by giving them a compliment and watching their reaction. Oh no, or thank you, but so are you. Trying to deflect. What I'm going to say is when someone gives you a compliment, some of the people who've been in class with me know this one. When someone gives you a compliment, say, thank you, it's true. You are magnificent, Eugene. Thank you, it's true. See, because if we don't think so, nobody else can. Right? And the other thing is, when I deflect a compliment, I'm in essence calling them a liar. Ooh, how terrible is that? It's not terrible at all, Eugene. It's just the way it is. Let me finish up. The last and final element of an effective prayer is acceptance. Now, in spiritual mind treatment, the way that is taught, the fourth step is what? Gratitude, thanksgiving, right? For me, gratitude, and I start all my prayers from a place of I am grateful that I get to speak this word. So gratitude is throughout all of these. Dr. Holmes' fourth element is acceptance. We accept our declaration. The word we have spoken as being manifest now. No delay is involved between this cause and its appearance as effect. We accept that our word, the declaration we have made, is a supreme intelligence speaking through us, and that according to the nature of the way it works through law, our word automatically manifests in accord with the law. And in our acceptance of the reality of this good as a tangible effect, this word in us, Spirit, God, divine, being an active agent in his own creation. So in other words, speak your word, accept your good. Speak your word and then accept it. For years, I would speak my word for whatever and then would get upset that it didn't happen. And I had to, and I mean, I'm talking about months, right? I've been praying on this, been praying on this, and been praying on how come it's not happening? Oh, am I willing to accept it? So my question to you in closing, are you willing to accept your good? Are you willing? Thank you. Yes, it's working, Dan. Are you willing to recognize the divine everywhere you go? Yes. This one might be a little more challenging. Are you willing to accept the divine in everyone you meet? I hear you say you're willing, and that's good. Try it out tomorrow. When you come across somebody that's like, "Urgh," but are you willing to? See, here's the key about that question, are you willing? And we say yes, because it is about being willing. So yes, you said yes to willing to recognize, yes, willing to be one with that divine. Are you willing to declare what you want to experience? Okay, I need a real good yes in this one. Hang on. Let me ask again. I love that. Are you willing to declare what you want to experience?
Yes.
Are you willing to declare what you want to experience?
Yes.
Yes. Here's another one. Are you willing to accept what you have declared?
Yes.
Dag nabbit. And so it is. Let's close this in prayer. Let's anchor this in prayer. So those are the 4 elements, and we can talk about the 5 elements of spiritual mind treatment. If you really want to change your life, get in that class. Get in the class. I'm going to tell you something. I may go over by 30 seconds, but I have to say this. I had the beautiful opportunity to run the World Ministry of Prayer for CSL for 10 years. I got firsthand experience on how the power of this type of prayer works. It's not begging or beseeching. It is recognizing not just the divine, but recognizing your prosperity, recognizing your love, recognizing that all of this is already yours, right? And then we become one with that. Now I get to declare this. Take the class. Take the class. Take the class. It is a life changer when you start making it a way of life. Hallelujah. Whew, let's pray. This is what I know. I know that there is one life, there is one power, there is one source. And though it may be called by different names, sometimes it's called God, sometimes it's called Allah, sometimes it's called Allah, sometimes it's called Krishna, sometimes it's called Yahweh, sometimes it's called Vudun, Olodumare, great-grandfather, great-grandmother. It's called by different names. It doesn't matter what it is called as long as we call it forth into our conscious awareness, recognizing that there is a power that is greater than all that we are and all that it is, a power that is the source of all that there is, and we are one with it. That no matter where you go, you are God in action. The breath that you breathe, that's God in action. The love that you give, that is God in action. Now, from this awareness, I declare for each and every one of us a life of health, wholeness, and well-being. I declare for each and every one of us a life of abundance, not just in financial settings, but also an abundance of creativity,